What's up, everybody? The Iceman here on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel. Was doing a lot of thinking today after watching TNA's 2005 Destination X pay-per-view. I thought the main event with Jeff Jarrett and DDP was like totally awesome. You had involvement from just so many people. Sean Waltman, Chris Candido, Billy Gunn. I mean, it was a phenomenal match. Even Monty Brown turned heel at this pay per view, and I just thinking about how great things were back in 2005 with TNA. Their pay per view main events were really, unbelievable. Jeff Jarrett always found a way to win. He always cheated. Um, he was the king of the mountain. He did own the company, and he put himself at the very top of the heap. And after watching that pay per view, I just started thinking about TNA today, wrestling in general, actually today, and it's just like it was 9 years ago, but it's just like so many things have changed. And we talk about how wrestling was 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and it's yeah, the obviously the times are changing, things are different. I was looking at the information for Bound for Glory for this year's TNA major pay-per-view event, which is taking place in Japan. And as of now, Bobby Roode's not even on this card. And how do you leave one of your biggest names off this card unless he gets added to later on? Bobby Lashley's not on the card as well. Kurt Angle won't be on the card. Uh, you know, I just am. I'm looking at this Bound for Glory pay per view, and it just seems like TNA has really lost its touch. Dixie Carter, I understand if you're having financial difficulties, and you know, if you really are interested in keeping TNA afloat, you need to come up with another plan. You need to come up with some sort of help to help, put new life into TNA. Um, it, it's in the last 4 years since Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff arrived, a lot of money was being spent, and the programming was okay, but uh, we noticed a lot of things were focused around Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan, and Hogan brought in his daughter Brooke. There were storylines around, revolving around her. Um, and we sort of all knew once all this started that this was going to be a continual thing in TNA. I'm not sure what Dixie was actually thinking. I think deep down inside she thought bringing in Hogan and Bischoff was going to be a major plus for TNA because of what they did for WCW back in the middle to late 90s. But again, when we talk about things, this was the middle to late 90s. This is when they brought in Hogan, it was 2010. Hogan gets there a month later. AJ Styles loses his TNA World Heavyweight title to RVD in a match that RVD didn't even have enough respect to pull the leg back on the pin on AJ Styles. And after watching Styles lose in February of 2010, I just had a funny feeling that things were going to go in the wrong direction. And well, they have been. The New York City shows at the Manhattan Ballroom have been very, very good, especially utilizing what talent that the TNA promotion has after losing so much, especially after last year's Bound for Glory, the big win by AJ Styles. But then it was a constant daily reading of hearing that AJ wasn't going to sign with TNA. He was going to take a huge financial pay cut, and a lot of us here. Didn't want to believe it. And then when it finally came down to the point where AJ Styles was gone, it was like, wow, this really did happen. And then shortly thereafter, other stars started leaving, Daniels and Kazarian, and the list goes on. And it's one thing to lose these kind of big stars. The latest casualty being Bully Ray, but when you bring in younger talent or the talent that you have, if you're not using them, what's the point? And this doesn't just go for TNA; it goes for the WWE as well. Ethan Carter III has been in TNA for how long now? He gets in the middle of storylines, but as far as him doing anything major within the wrestling ring has not really yet happened. And I don't know what TNA is, why they're holding him back. I thought by now he would have had a title shot or possibly even being the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And I don't know when they're going to pull the plug on this. But yeah, so, when you look for Bound for Glory, and, everybody knows too that Jeff Hardy won't be there because of his probation issues. He's not allowed to leave the country. So that's another big loss to TNA. So we're going to see a lot of Japanese wrestlers as well. But unfortunately, I just don't think the card is going to have a lot of interest here in the United States. And I think this is probably going to be, one of the least bought Bound for Glories that TNA's had in a very, very long time. I'm hoping that this is just a bad year for TNA, and then maybe in 2015, hopefully if they are still around, and we're not even sure if they still are going to be, that things will improve. I just think that Dixie Carter should have really learned from what Jeff Jarrett did. Him and his family built a company, and a lot of people, back then when Jeff Jarrett was around and he was champion, so much. But I mean, he put on great wrestling shows. He put on great wrestling pay-per-views, and so you have to give Jeff Jarrett a lot of credit. And I'm hoping that carries over into Global Force Wrestling. I know things are taking a little bit longer to, get things up and running. But hopefully Jarrett still has what it takes. But yeah, wrestling today is. I watch it because it's a habit for me. But it's just not TNA. It's WWE. I do enjoy watching Ring of Honor when I can. I think they have a lot of stars down there, and I think a lot of their stars really should be in a bigger promotion to get more exposure to. As we all know, Kevin Steen has signed with the WWE. Let's hope the WWE uses him in the right, proper way, and gives this man a major exposure push and put him somewhere at the top of the heap, which the WWE really needs to have a lot more people at the top as well. But if you look at TNA's roster right now and you look at the WWE's roster right now, it's just a fraction of stars, really, or what they're used to. And I don't know if this is a sign to come in the world of professional wrestling. Is professional wrestling starting to fade away from the people? Are there less fans enjoying professional wrestling? Are there just fans that just don't care? I mean, it just has to make you wonder. So I just wanted to do a little bit of talk about this. It's a Sunday, last day of August. Hope everybody had themselves a great day. Peace out, everybody, from the Iceman. See you next time.